What did you like about what you saw out there from the scrimmage?
I like the effort. I thought both teams were competing hard, and that's kind of what you're looking for in this first inter-squad scrimmage is, A, are they working hard, and B, are they trying to do the things that we're talking about the first 2 days. So I thought on especially the white team today, I thought, with what we were trying to accomplish, and making some changes, I thought they did a good job of trying to implement. Both teams did, but especially white, and I thought the effort on both teams was excellent. So that's what we're happy with that.
We've heard so much talk about the pace through the first few days here. Good pace out there again today.
I thought so. They keep in mind they had a 35-minute practice before the game and 2 heavy days before. So I thought the pace stayed up pretty well. I think we're all pretty happy with the pace. As some of the goals were, the one goal that the blue team scored, I thought was a good rush. Showed some pace and net drive that we're talking a lot about. So there's some real positives there.
Seeing the defenseman activate a bit too has got to be a good sign.
Yeah. There were some good activations. There's a couple we left on the table, but again, it's the first day. So again, today for them, it's about bumping and playing with 10 guys on the ice for the first time, since April. So that's kind of what you're trying to just get across and make sure that you're getting a sweat and bumping guys and getting used to that physicality again.
Oh, Adam obviously was here last year, but it is a new staff. So I'm curious, what's your impression of the players, kind of their attitude, just their willingness to embrace what it is you guys are trying to teach and sort of move in this new direction?
Yeah, there's been no pushback at all. I think it's obviously a little early to say they bought in completely, but they seem very focused and interested in what we're trying to say, and the drills that we're doing reflect that. And I thought today the scrimmage for the most part reflected that. We talked a lot about center lane drive and trying to get a little faster coming out of our own end and coming into the offensive zone on rushes, and you could see that today with the rushes. We had a good center lane drive. Both teams were doing it well. So it's going to, that's not going to happen overnight. This process will be going on in December. We'll still be trying to chip away at it. So, but for, the first couple of days, we're happy.
You've watched a guy like Quinn Hughes from afar, obviously, but just to see him up close the first few days, and even in a scrimmage like this one, like he does things that really nobody else is doing out there. Like, how much fun has it been just to kind of get a chance to work with him so far?
Yeah, and today I didn't, coach a lot on the bench. I was just more observing. But yeah, there are some things you're just like, wow. Like you said, not maybe 1 or 2 other guys in the league are doing that. So that's fun to see. As we establish the relationship, we'll talk about some of those plays, good and bad. But he brings so much to the table. It's going to be a lot of fun to coach with him, work with him every day, and watch him grow, both sides of the puck.
Are you able to share anything about the lineup tomorrow night that you guys are sending to Seattle?
I probably could. I don't exactly know it myself, so it's going to be a mix. It's going to be tilted a little bit towards a younger group. Obviously, we need 8 or 9 veterans, so they'll be part of it. But I can't really. Honestly, it's mostly because I don't know the exact numbers and I don't want to, or names. I don't want to misspeak there.
Were there any players in particular that stood out to you today? Well,
I was watching my team a little bit more closely, and I really liked, I thought Mancini was very good and active. I liked Elias Pettersson. I thought Sherwood brought a lot of energy, was great. I thought Baines played well on the other team. So there's, and again, I'm sure I'm missing guys. I thought the effort was really good, and that's kind of what you're looking for today, along with trying to execute some of the stuff we're putting into place. And I thought everyone was trying to do it, so that was good. But those names I thought were good. Honestly, I thought the goalies on the white team were excellent. So, but I think everyone was good, and I think walk away happy today.
There's a lot of excitement, obviously, in the organization and fan base about this young defense group. Some of the guys mentioned there. Willander's getting his first look at this level as well. What have you seen from him in the first couple of days? He's
an excellent skater. He's got a good stick. I think he's been coached well in college, so I think his fundamentals are going to be good. I think for him, it's just going to be pro hockey. It's going to be a little different with the strength of the person he's playing against and the structure of the game, but he's got some really good tools. I thought he was good today. You didn't notice him a lot, but that's a good thing too sometimes with the young defenseman not to get noticed. And so he's exciting because you don't see that kind of mobility. He's got great size, or not great size, but good size and great mobility. It's a good combination, good stick, and it's going to be good to watch him develop here over the course of the next 2-3 weeks.
There are a lot of young players on the blue line as well as up front that are, competing for spots. So as a coaching staff, how nice is it to know that you have that younger push coming in, going into the season?
It's huge because I think that's how teams keep each other. The teams that hold each other accountable the best, I think, are the best teams. And an older guy or a middle-aged guy that knows he can't just take his foot off the gas, because he's getting pushed from underneath. That just raises everybody's level, and I think that's huge. And you want those guys that were in Abbotsford that obviously did a terrific job last year. Those guys deserve a shot, and if they can push their way in the lineup, they'll find their way in the lineup. It's and it's just going to raise the level of the guys that they're going after the jobs of. So I think it's just a good thing organizationally to have that. You mentioned the defense, and that's you got some good young defense knocking on the door too, and that's just going to make the rest of the defense core that's here have to stay sharp.
And there's a lot of the whole coaching staff is essentially new this year. When you have a situation like training camp where there's close to 60 players, how do you and your other assistants who came in this year kind of get to know the players, not just the new ones, but the ones that have been here for a while?
Well, I watched some video over the summer. We watched a lot of the last year's Canucks. You study the sheet, the names, because I haven't the kids come from junior. I haven't seen it all. I haven't seen much of Abbotsford, very little, but some. So I'm obviously more familiar with the 8 or 10 defensemen that were here last year, right? But every day you go on the ice, the Minions of the world and those young kids that are trying to push their way in, they deserve a lot of respect too. Like, you got to coach them the same way you coach anyone else, because they're just out of respect more than anything, right? So their time will come if they put the work in. So I think you just coach what's in front of you, no matter who it is, and just take each day as it comes that way.